Hello, Drunkduckers. Our resolution with me is Todd and Baines. Hello.
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 Hello. And this is the Quackcast, the Drunkduck Quackcast. Hello, Drunkduckers. Yes, this is the Drunkduck Quackcast. Of course, your amazing as a nation, and with me is Baines and Tarts, and today we're talking about the second part of the weapon cast, the gun cast. But this is the part where we talk about the future weapons, the ultimate weapons, and, what's going to happen. But before we get into that, I got to bring up the feature. Kwai Dagakse gave us Hell Monkey. So, Kwai, tell us about Hell Monkey.
Hello, it's Quackcast, and the feature I've selected for this week is Hell Monkey by Niche Mode, also known as Niche Mode, and it is rated M for Mature. Hell Monkey L has been on a mission for 788 years as a mercenary, currently inhabiting a cold, devolved dust ball Earth filled with human-headed dogs and cockroach mutations. L is about to reveal how he earned the title of Famous Ogre Killer by facing off against the final form of rotund ogre humanoid King Shobo. Instead of paying Shobo a tribute to ward off all demons, a clean sweep and swoosh of L's sword blade sends the freeman racing through the desert, trying to outrun whatever might be following them. The art is in black and white, presented as full-sized comic pages. A variety of shading techniques are applied to give the characters and backgrounds a texturized look. Rated Mature contains frontal nudity. Trace the dimly lit path of one of the rare remaining stars in the barren Earth's night sky and read Hell Monkey by Niche Mode, rated M.
That was Kwai with Hell Monkey. Okay, Hell Monkey. Where do the Hell Monkeys come from, Baines? Didn't you say it was like Uranus? I can't remember. Okay, no, let's not talk about anything more about that. All right, so next up we have the featured music. So this featured music is a great little theme. Do you guys know what the featured music theme is? Did Kamala send that to you guys, or just me?
No, not to me.
Oh, not to you. He should have. Because this week's theme is Kaiju Valentine.
What?
Ah!
Yeah.
Yay!
Kaiju Valentine. And this music I describe as Stomp meets a big stomping monster woman as she bops and bounces heavily to this cool, percussive, yet somewhat ethereal sound. It's party time here in Kaiju Land. This is an infectious dance number, so dance along and bop to Kaiju Valentine.
Wow, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Take it away, Gum Wallace. Gumwallace with his theme to Kaiju Valentine, which is a cute little comic by a cute little person called Baines.
He's not little.
Well, Max is the main character in Kaiju Valentine, and he's little. Because he is a
compared
little.
to compared to Minnie. Compared to Minnie, he's
Yeah, it's
huge.
all
Well,
relative.
see, Minnie and her people have normal kind of human proportions that we have, like, and they have normal faces. But Max's people have cute faces with bigger eyes and more childlike
No.
features, if you've noticed.
Yeah, you do have a point there. So
Hey Oz, I thought you said it was millennials who were overly literal.
What are you talking about prejudice against millennials? I'm just a humble boomer. No, I'm not. I'm a Gen X. Just
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you actually said it. It's all just in fun.
You're playing a character.
I think,
And I'm not meant to
I
take
think
you.
we are all Gen Xers, aren't we? I
Wow,
think
we
so.
are. The
think so.
sexiest generation because it's got X in it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're X-Men.
X-Men. Yes, you're Rogue. I'm Cyclops and Baines is Wolverine. There we go.
Exactly. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, because he's Canadian, like the actual Wolverine.
Yeah, the team of X-Men where Wolverine first joined was a multicultural team. I was just trying to think. I don't think there was an Australian or a Greek.
No, there probably are now.
Not there at all. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
there
I
were
don't-
later.
People really remember that Greece exists when they do, stories like this.
Yeah,
Well, they have a character called Hercules who is Greek, I suppose. And there's Zeus is in comics.
Greek with lots of, air quotes.
Yeah,
yeah.
bro Greek. Wonder Woman is also Greek, but she's not obviously a part of the same comic.
Yeah, technically. Super
thing.
technically.
She's in DC,
Like
not
what?
Marvel.
And when I was an X-Men fan, there was an arc where the X-Men basically disappeared. They died and were reborn. They saved the world or whatever by dying, but then they were reborn. So nobody knew they were alive. No one knew where they were, and they ended up in hiding in the Australian outback,
My God,
Oh,
which was a magical
everyone
thing
would
Yes. And they met this old man, a mutant, this old Aboriginal man called Gateway, who could transport them wherever they needed to go throughout the world.
that's
Swing this
Convenient.
thing around and everything. Yeah.
that's cool.
So, yeah. And then later I found out Australia was a real place.
And the
no, it's a
outback.
conspiracy.
You know,
Yeah.
Australia doesn't exist.
well, another name for the outback is the Never Never.
Oh.
It actually is. Yeah. So there you are.
Wow.
So it does sound like a fictional place.
It does.
Because you should never go there. All right. Well, this is the weapon cast, the other part of the weapon cast, because we talked about, like, we gave it like a broad overview of weaponry in the history of the world. We just like had a basic tour of everything, and now we're talking about future weapons. Where are we going to go from there? So, what are your guys' favorite future weapons? Tell me. Come on, I'm putting you on the spot here. Like,
We didn't do any homework for this.
don't need
Oh.
homework. All right. I give you an A, B, and C kind of thing, like a multiple choice. Lasers, plasma weapons, electrical beams, lightsabers. That's a
I'll go with plasma weapons, I think.
yeah. Plasma. They sound cool. What about you, Baines?
How are plasma weapons different? I'll stall. How are plasma weapons different from laser weapons? Where would I have
they-
seen plasma?
Why different? Okay, so no one knows what a plasma weapon is really because there's a bunch of different things that plasma weapon could be. Laser weapon is just light being projected from a source basically, and it travels at the speed of light. So that's really fast. takes a while to dump the energy into whatever it hits, but it goes super fast and super straight. Plasma, there's a couple of things that could be a plasma weapon. Okay, so plasma, as we sort of all know it, is superheated gas. It's gas that's so hot that it's electrically conductive. You use plasma torches to cut things in manufacturing, and you could also use it for welding. So that's why we sort of think, oh, that could be a weapon, but you can't use a plasma torch as a weapon. It's not very. You may as well use a knife. It's far less dangerous to you.
Wikipedia says, because I certainly have no idea, Wikipedia says that a plasma cannon is currently an experimental projectile weapon, which accelerates a projectile by means of a plasma discharge between electrodes at the rear of the barrel, generating a rapid increase in pressure.
Well,
that
is a possible plasma weapon. Because so many things can have the name. So that's using it like a chemical explosion. You know, like you're using like a gun, except you're using a different way of propelling the propellant. Other ideas about plasma weapons would be you can contain plasma with magnetic fields because it's you're ionizing the gas, which means it's conductive. So you can, when the sun projects these enormous what are they called, like sunspots, and then you have these enormous like loops.
Yeah, the black. The sun flares.
Solar flares. So what those solar flares are is just plasma traveling along the magnetic fields. So it goes up and around and back to the sun again, because that's how plasma travels along a magnetic field. So if you were having like a plasma weapon using that kind of thing, you could have like a gun that would fire a contained magnetic field that would have a circle of plasma, not circle, but a sphere of plasma, like a containment of plasma, which would hit something and burn and be very, very powerful. You could project a magnetic kind of a magnetic field onto something and project the plasma onto something like a flamethrower. So instead of spraying liquid out, you spray plasma. Another thing is like your weapon would spray plasma, and then you can shoot an electrical beam at someone, because lightning is basically a plasma beam. We think of lightning as that's like an electrical bolt, but actually that's traveling along ionized ions in the air, and the actual lightning bolt is a huge plasma beam, because there's plasma that's what is actually glowing there. That is like superheated gas. So
basically the reason I would prefer plasma as if I were to ever write a science fiction, ever, which I don't know if I ever will, but
I love it.
You think so?
I would love to see it. I mean, there's limited time to do everything, of course.
But the idea is that I would have this highly advanced society or whatever, having plasma technology and having these guns that can generate, have a plasma source in the gun, generating plasma, and then being able to, depending on what they needed to do, direct it differently. So it could have a very precision, shots or whatever. I don't know. I don't have now terminology for it. Or it could, basically what's his name? Judge Dredd's gun.
Oh, yeah.
But without all of that, it would need to be controlled differently. And I would, and plasma, at least now what we know of it, makes it flexible enough to have this one way of weaponizing it in multiple ways, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Not one way, one weapon that can be very like
versatile.
versatile. Exactly, that's what I'm looking for. So
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's a pretty cool aspect. You know, I've always loved lasers. Just as a kid, the idea of them, because you know, like when I was a kid, everyone had them in concerts and performances, and oh my god, they look so cool. So I always wanted a laser as a weapon, and they're pretty useless weapons because you have to keep it on something long enough for it to burn the thing,
Yeah.
and even massively powerful weapon lasers, it takes a long time for them to destroy missiles or whatever. But
yeah.
I would still love lasers to be a real thing, even though so far they're not.
You know what else I would have like as a very insidious weapon, and I would put that on ships or, near, on vessels and stuff that have like water in abundance, like, and would be able to pump it in from around. I would have water guns, and they would be cold water guns. Uh, but they would shoot water in super narrow bursts, like down to molecular level narrow, and
Cut through
really
things.
fast. Yeah, and it would basically there is nothing you cannot cut through, and you will not run out of ammunition because you are a boat on the sea. It gets back in the sea, it's fine. So
Yeah,
yeah,
runs
I
off the
would
ship's
have that.
power. Well, that's the way, similar to that is the way they want lasers to work on ships, is by using the ship's power, so you don't have to rely on ammunition, you just have to rely on the fuel that powers the ship's generators. So yeah, and that would be the same if you had your water weapon. It would be the fuel that powers your ship's power plant. So that's the only thing that would you'd be relying on, which makes everything a bit more streamlined.
Right.
But yeah, so water cutting things at the moment, they only work for relatively close because I think they decohere. But if you could keep that coherence and lamellar flow from a distance, that would be very powerful.
Yeah, I think they need to like put a bit of mud in the water. Like when I say mud, I mean
An
just
abrasive.
like very like something abrasive in the water to do this. But because it would be science fiction, I would have them like make it so that I don't know, they ionize the water or whatever. Like they make it very heavy, and it just becomes abrasive itself.
Yeah.
Maybe they just they mix a couple of eggs in there, thicken it up.
Flour. Shoot pancakes at
flour.
people.
That's it. Yeah, some flour.
It's a Canadian weapon. Oh my god, they're gonna make flapjacks on all the ships. It's very superheated maple syrup.
Exactly. Hey, that may be effective.
If it smells delicious, run.
Those damn Canadians. This is like the 23rd century where Canada takes over the whole world. We're wilting under the force of the red leaf. As it dominates us all. What is it, an oak leaf? I can't really remember. Maple leaf. It's a maple leaf. Damn it. Oak leaf. Oh, God. Please don't kill me, Canadian overlords. But yeah, that's a good idea. Well,
That's really neat.
The other sweet weapon, was my idea of the you fire the marshmallows at people. Marshmallow fluff. You could shoot that out of like some kind of like a hose, and then you fire the microwave weapon, and that massively expands the marshmallow and turns into a superheated kind of foam.
It's basically lava. It's like lava, and
then it hardens afterwards.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, okay, it will have killed the humans, of course, very, very deliciously. But it will also have damaged anything mechanical that it gets inside. Like,
right.
So it doesn't it destroys everything. And yeah, good luck rescuing an engine that has sugar in it. So
True. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So the marshmallow gun and microwave weapon, that will be the new weapons of all future societies.
yeah, it will not be liquid fire anymore, or Greek fire. We don't call it Greek fire. We call it liquid fire.
Okay.
It will just be sweet fire from now on.
It will be. It will
Nice.
swamp us all. Okay, Baines, it's your turn now. Tons that I've had our
I,
go.
I had this idea that I haven't developed. I don't know if I will, but it was about cops in the future, peacekeepers, and they had very like non-damaging weapons. They're tools of the trade for violent problems or violent people or whatever it would be. One of them was this idea similar to what you said with this foam, a marshmallow type foam. Not that would damage equipment, but it would like make it impossible to move. It'd be very soft, be fairly comfortable. Or
Relaxing.
another version would be like cops would like come in, and I think I read about this in Japan about
Oh,
cops having these big like futon mattresses. So they come in, they charge problematic people with these futon mattresses, and they hold them immobile in these very soft, non-damaging cushions.
that's
Oh.
amazing. I would love that. Imagine also the extra frustration when you are mad and you want to be enraged,
Oh
and then
man,
you get swathed in this very comfortable shooting thing, and you don't want to be shot at this point.
yeah, these are like pacifying weapons. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, no, let me have my adrenaline. Come on.
yeah.
I like
Let them
that.
get the adrenaline out. I would like that too.
Something
But
more.
I like
I love
the idea of vehicle. Oh, sorry, Ozzy.
No, I just said something more friendly. Go on.
Something more friendly, exactly. I like the vehicles. Like I'm not a real big vehicle person or a car person, but I liked the Millennium Falcon and the Batmobile and stuff. But I love Batman. I'm never a big James Bond fan either. Really, I don't know those movies, but Batman has similarities, with his batarang, the hook, the ropes that he throws, the boomerangs, the ropes with the hook that he can climb stuff and swing on stuff, and the bulletproof cape. Like
And the
that
sack.
kind of fantastical weaponry. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the bulletproof cape. Yeah, I mean, we do have sort of technology that approaches that.
Yeah, but
Probably not as
nothing like
portable.
that.
Yeah.
What's that?
The one I said nothing like that, like to that level though. That Batman has it. Although the one thing that really pisses me off about that is that okay, it stops bullets, fine, it will not cut through flesh. But what about bruising? What about throwing him off his balance a little bit? It's a bullet that slams into him.
Oh yeah, you'd think it would. Maybe it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the writer, probably.
I think so. Yeah, I think it depends on the.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to add this something that really I have to get out of my mind, like the marshmallow gun, except the two levels of attack, killing the humans with the heat and killing the machines with the sugar, then becomes also a bio weapon because all the bugs will come to the sugar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually the most insidious thing.
it's so evil, but it will feed the people left over. So there you go.
Will it though? Because it's burnt sugar at this point.
Well, it just hardens. It doesn't get burnt.
Hmm.
So yeah, you
Maybe.
could eat it.
Whoever survives can eat.
Eat the bugs that eat the sugar. Oh, you know what weapons? Like I always get creeped out by acids. Oh my god, like an acid spraying thing, or an alkaline basic thing. Oh my god, like that scene in RoboCop where the guy gets bathed in some alkaline solution from he was an evil person, so he deserved it, but still, oh my god, it's horrific.
Yeah.
Melts. the worst scene in that whole film.
Chemical and bioweapons are, I think, the worst thing that humanity has produced. So,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, so they're not future weapons anymore. But
No.
bioweapons never worked. Like,
They
everyone's
did.
scared about them, but they never worked. Chemical weapons did. They worked too well. But even then, they didn't. I mean, the real secret reason why we don't use chemical weapons is because they don't work very well in that they're not well directed. They tend to get everybody, not just the people you're after. And bioweapons are the same.
Mm.
There's no way to direct them after just the people you want to get. They tend to get everybody. So
You will need to have like antidotes or vaccines or whatever.
yeah.
And the good thing about this is that the fascist that will want to use the bioweapon is probably going to be an anti-vaxxer as well. So
Vaccines don't work. They give you autism and
yeah.
oh god.
Ugh, I don't know. Yeah, saving graces like silver linings. They will die with us. So
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and chemical weapons, like, we're so super scared of them, and rightly so, because they're horribles. But say, sarin. Okay, so that's a terrible, evil, poisonous weapon. I think the Nazis developed it. The one mass sarin attack was by the Supreme Truth Cult. I can't remember. Om Supreme something or other in Japan.
I don't remember.
In the 90s. Well, what they did was their big plan was to release this sarin on the trains and kill a whole bunch of people. And the death toll from this, like, and they planned this for years, and they even, like, they did these tests. They actually did these tests in where I am in Western Australia. They bought a farm and they tested on animals and things, and they perfected it. And then when they perfected it, then they were in Japan, and it was the time to use it. And they released this on the trains, and the idea was that everybody within the whole train would be killed, and the death toll would be massive, and disruption and everything like that. But it hardly killed anyone. And the gas, like, didn't really spread that far, even though they did all this work and put all this effort into it. It barely even spread. So it was it was horrible that they killed people, but it could have been so much worse, and it wasn't, because gas weapons, chemical weapons really aren't that effective. They're horrible, and they really do kill, and they hurt, and they're just awful, but they're not effective as a weapon. In that, because a weapon,
it's more like
the idea is, people just don't understand about weapons. They think weapons are for killing. No, weapons are for achieving a purpose. Killing is part of that purpose, but they're meant to, like, do more than just kill, because anything can kill you. So a weapon is meant to kill a certain amount of people in a certain range in a certain area at a certain time or whatever. You're meant to control it. You can't control chemical weapons very well. So they're not very good weapons.
The one thing they would be good for, and they are unfortunately categorized as that, is for destroying morale. And
as a terrorist weapon,
Yeah.
But even then, they weren't very effective.
Yeah.
Because this was a terrorist group. So they in the end they were disbanded very quickly, and their leader was in jail. I think he's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of the Om Supreme Truth Cult. Fucking idiots. But there's been a million animes inspired by this, and manga. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anytime
I feel so behind with my manga.
Anytime you see any manga that sort of well, not now so much, but from the 90s or the early 2000s, anytime they represent some sort of terrorist thing, it's always referring back to that. And before that, they always referred back to Hiroshima, like the nuclear weapons. Oh dear. Well, there's a future and present weapon, nuclear weapons. They're still around now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think they will be around for a long while yet, unless we destroy every single one of us, whereupon we won't be around anymore. So
Well, they're not as
nobody.
they're not as physically deadly as we always feared. Like the idea that everything would be turned to glass and be turned to Stone Age is wrong.
It's just that the environment will be so screwed after, like if you use nuclear weapons for to a certain extent and in certain areas and in certain ways, like the sheer fallout from this, and
You can
depending
poison a
on
lot of stuff
yeah,
and increase
and
cancer
then
rates.
exactly, and then you have a domino effect, not only on the human population but on pretty much all living populations. And yeah, it's very easy to deregulate it.
I think the real danger with nuclear weapons is that you only need a few to create a massive amount of destruction. And so the real danger is like messing up civilization. So if you get enough of them to destroy major like production areas and like intellectual areas, you could disrupt commerce and economies and civilizations in such a way that it would be very difficult to recover.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't necessarily get to an apocalypse level event unless you really tried, but you could approach it by that kind of disruption. Like look how much the world was disrupted just by there was a bloody ship that went sideways in the Suez Canal, and like,
exactly.
world shipping was transport was messed up for months just because of that one idiot and his ship going sideways.
Yeah, and like imagine not have, like, we are used, and our society is highly specialized and compartmentalized, and we depend a lot on each other even though we don't realize it. So if you have and take it like everything that is very, very complex is a huge target of entropy. So if you get any one aspect of this society unable to work and completely shutting down, then all the other ones are going to domino effect into shutting down as well. You don't actually need the distraction to happen all at once. You only need strategic distraction that will affect everything else basically. So
yeah, things will affect each other, as you say. The domino could kind of cascade. But so it can be very problematic. It can be.
yeah.
Well, we're going to do another Quackcast on apocalypses.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted. Let's do that next time because it feels very, very in context considering.
There'll be a trilogy.
But yeah, we should define what we mean by apocalypse because we have had, like, humanity has suffered through at least 2 apocalypses that I can think of right now, and one would be the Dark Ages, like when the Bronze Civilization collapsed, and you had all these empires collapsing together.
Yeah, classical civilization.
Yeah, and then you had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I would need to study for this, and I will. For this, I will study a little bit. And then you had between the Roman Empire and like the rise of just late medieval Western Europe, you have this flat a regression uh, to technology far behind those of the Romans at the time.
Mhm.
Again, end of times, basically. And then you have the Black Death, another end of times. So three, just off the top of my head. Those are apocalypses.
That
So,
killed a huge amount of people.
yeah,
Although, I know with the Black Death, I don't think the culture suffered like as it did with the end of Rome. Culture suffered massively, culture and technology. But everything kept on going after the Black Death.
yeah.
Which I suppose
It did.
because society was more, it wasn't as advanced as it was in the Roman
Exactly.
age. So, and it was more centered around, okay, it's centered around this royal family and this aristocratic group. So it was able to survive a lot easier.
Exactly.
Because,
Like imagine we had COVID, which was like kids play, considering, right? And we had COVID for like 2 years. Well, we still have COVID, but I mean, seriously trying to contain it and failing embarrassingly. Um, and so much fallout came from these just few months basically of stalling and stopping everything. Uh, Imagine if it was worse, what would have happened?
I don't want to imagine that.
Yeah, I mean that our society would have been worse off than that of the like 1500s or whenever it
Yeah, because we're
back then.
way more connected. Yeah, so it hurts us a lot more to suffer. Very true. Whereas because they were so separated and with their
Autonomous, I would say.
autonomous. Yeah, so it was easier to survive
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they're more self-sufficient, whereas we aren't, and the Romans weren't either.
Exactly.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
okay.
highly.
Another
Hmm.
apocalypse. What happened within the South America? So they suffered many like weird collapses
Yeah,
where whole city
yeah,
states would
yeah.
mysteriously vanish. We don't
Hmm.
know what caused that.
Exactly.
We
And
I don't know. Maybe
like
scientists do. I haven't kept up with that.
I don't think they do yet because I would have come across it. I have a lot of friends that geek out about these things, so I would know. I don't think there are like significant breakthroughs yet on what happened. Um, there are theories that shift, climatic change, shift of resources, blah blah blah. But these are theories yet.
Yeah. Like one of the theories was like, yeah, the king just decided to move the capital and they just abandoned that place.
As you do. I'm bored of my capital. Let's just move it.
Every single person, yeah. Let's all go.
Like yeah. Like Akhenaton did that, but he had a very real reason why he did that. He didn't do it out of like boredom. Uh, so
Oh yeah. I mean, people have. I mean, we have recorded instances of emperors and things doing that, but people don't all move out of that city. It's just the ruling class. And
exactly. So yeah, what I'm saying is that, and considering like if they are empires, they are more likely to vanish than they if they are like little like small communities, fives or whatever, like smaller scale stuff. Um,
yeah, the
and
kingdoms, princedoms, all that sort of thing.
yeah, so if
Survival.
it happens to us, we are slated for like the big thing. We are gonna vanish. So yeah, there's that.
We'll have the apocalypse cast next. I
Yeah,
look forward to it. The Mad Max
yeah,
cast.
yeah, and we need some like Judas Priest for this. With
We'll get
nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
spray paint and spray
Yes.
our mouths and go, witness me. Witness me.
No, I don't like spraying my mouth. And the one thing that, yeah, I should probably keep it for next time, but I won't because I never do. The humans, like, we feel like, oh, save the planet, save the environment, and it's like the planet doesn't care. It doesn't give a blip. The planet will still be there. You won't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say
That's the thing, like nature versus humanity. No, you idiot.
No.
Humans are nature. Everything we do is nature. Like we aren't
Exactly.
separate. Our LED lights, nuclear power and everything like that isn't some man-made atrocity. That's
No.
everything is nature. The world doesn't care. What the world suffers is if you change things too fast, then things can't
Exactly.
adapt and they die off, and that's bad for genetic diversity.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's bad. But that's because you change things too fast. But that's not because you're against nature. Everything is natural. There's no such thing
Exactly.
as
And-
natural, really.
And humanity is not the
all's
overlord of nature. It's, yeah. No.
Yeah, it's an old intellectual fallacy, this idea of, it's us versus nature, or we're hurting the planet. We're hurting ourselves, like you said, Tance.
Yeah.
That's what we're hurting. And that's why we need to, keep in mind about climate change and stuff like that. It's not.
Yeah, because the Earth itself has gone through vicious climate change that lasted for like millions of years. Didn't care. The Earth remained there. Didn't care.
Yeah.
New life appeared, had its thing for millions of years, a lot more than we have been around. It changed, it got destroyed, huge changes, asteroids slamming into Earth and all that. The Earth didn't care. It's still there.
So much ignorance about it. I remember watching something like a TV show. I can't remember, but it was written by someone who's very intelligent. But they're saying, "Oh my God, they're worried that this weapon would start a second ice age." And I thought, a second ice age? Do you know
we
how
are
many
this.
ice ages the Earth
We have.
has been through? And we are actually in an ice age right now.
I was about to Google, like, we are in an ice age right now.
Yeah,
Right
even
now
though the
is an
world
ice.
isn't covered in ice, we are actually within an ice age. So yeah, the world has had multiple, not just one ice age.
And even humans have survived different stages of the ice age, like with a lot more ice than we have now,
Yeah,
and all that. The
yeah,
ice age is not a problem.
yeah. Humanity has been through that. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Would there be okay? We got 4 minutes left of this cast. Would there be a weapon that could create an ice age? You could actually do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
By
Yeah,
creating enough nuclear fallout.
exactly.
Start.
Oh, yeah.
Easiest way to do it. Cover the sun. Voila, instant ice age.
Very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you just kick up enough particulate matter into the sky. It wouldn't be healthy. You'd make a lot of very sick people. But yeah, you can do that.
Sick people, sick plants, a lot of plant life would die. And we know that's not good. The bees would not survive.
Fuck the bees.
My goodness, yes, let's totally do an apocalypse cast next time. It's so good.
Man-made ice age. Oh my God. Oh yeah, and we could cover a whole lot of different films and fictional things where they've had apocalypses.
Yeah,
The Mad
yeah.
Max films, a million different 80s things, because it was really popular in the 80s to do apocalypse things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still popular apocalypse things. Isn't the whole Alien franchise now being turned into it was actually an apocalypse for the engineer people?
I haven't seen it. I refuse to see it. I don't want it ruined. for me. I like the Alien trilogy.
Yeah, same.
So I refuse to see
Bioweapon
it.
bullshit. Oh my god, how dumb.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw one of the newer ones, like
Mhm.
maybe the third last one. I don't even know how many there are now, but I
Um,
saw one and it was very hard to follow.
oh, okay. I was about like to hear you say that it was good and give it a chance and like no. Okay.
No, it had to find like a cast and everything in a
Mm.
couple of moments, but yeah, mostly it was like, what's going on? And it kind of had no ending. And I heard they did the same thing in the next film.
Oh god, it was
No.
not Ridley Scott's best strong suit. All right, well the cast is ending. Thank you very much for listening
Yes.
to this
Stay with us for the apocalypse next time.
future episodes. Yeah, Quackcast 714. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.